Talk to yourself. Talk to yourself.
Oh.
Talk to the people. Talk to yourself.
All right, Shamika left. She has the topic. So here's the goal. The goal is every Saturday after we finish work, because y'all know we work together as husband and wife for everything. We work in the barbershop together. We worship together. We do everything together. So the ideal is, what's up, Carrie? The ideal is every Saturday at 3. What up, KB? Every Saturday at 3, if we have a conversation about marriage throughout the week, or we see something about marriage, we're going to actually kind of give our opinion and give our take on that particular subject that happened throughout the barbershop. So on my phone, we're supposed to call it. So it's kind of like
Barbershop talk.
His wife or husband barbershop talk. That's what we're doing.
We talk about talking
Every Saturday around 3, unless the clients, so between 3 and 3:30. So if you're following us, if y'all, I don't know, whatever you do on Instagram, I think you follow on Instagram too. Whatever that is, make sure you tune in. Also, every second and fourth Monday, we're gonna go live on YouTube, on our YouTube channel. Every second and fourth Monday. So make sure, if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, if you've not hit the notification bell, make sure you do so. So when we go live, y'all can join in with us, and we can have discussions over marriage topics. All right.
And and if y'all have something y'all want us to talk about in the shop, then send us a text message if you know us, or send us put a comment in the thing here.
First of all, let me let y'all know too, we don't know what we're doing. So I don't know if it's gonna show up. We're gonna see it later. I have no idea.
It is crazy.
Yeah, I don't know what we're doing.
Yeah.
All right.
So Lord, we thank you for sending us a we thank you for sending us a social media help. Is that a such thing? Can we ask the Lord for that? We can ask him for all.
So listen, all y'all on Saturdays at 3, these won't be long videos. It should be maybe 7, 8, 10 minutes. Then we out here.
All right, so here we go.
All right.
The topic for today will be the importance of conversation. The importance of conversation in marriage.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times we want things, but we don't communicate. A lot of times we want things, but we don't communicate our wants to our spouse. And sometimes you may have to make time to have those tough conversations, those things that you don't want to do, but you need to. Like, we gotta talk about this. And so Patrick and I even have a little thing where we talk about communication. So you want to factor in the timing, the tone, the text, but it still does not negate that conversation must be had in order for communication to even come forth.
So even for those of you who are not married, you're dating somebody and you're getting to know them, this is the important part where you practice good communication. Like, you practice tone, you practice timing, you practice what you're saying, how to say it, when to say it, and you create a habit of having good communication with your significant other, so that when you get married, it's just a flow.
Yeah.
If y'all born in the 70s, y'all know communication rule the nation. So if that's a good saying and slang, that it rules the nation, it controls things, then you want to make sure you're having good communication now with your spouse. Here's what I told a couple. They've been married for 56 years. That communication for them is highly important now, because if 56 years and they like in their 70s and 80s, guess what? All they got working is communication. You understand what I'm saying?
Unless they put in the work ahead of time to keep working.
I don't know, 70. I don't know, maybe.
You never know.
I don't know.
It happens.
The point is, communication is very important. So let me pull away from it's marriage. Dating, communicate. Learn how to communicate. And learning how to communicate, I also mean learn how to argue or learn how to disagree, so that you don't have these blowing up, cussing, throwing stuff on everybody kind of conversations. Like, you can still disagree healthily. Doesn't mean you have to always talk immediately right then and there. It may mean you need to take time away before you can have a conversation, so you won't go off on nobody. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
I'm wondering when you're gonna eat that chicken so I can talk. Okay, but what I was gonna say. So Patrick said that he said that conversation
Rule the nation.
rule the nation,
Don't play
but
with it.
also it creates chemistry.
Good.
And so when you talk and it's like you are communicating whatever you're feeling or whatever your thoughts are, then it creates that emotional bond and that creational that not creational. I said creational. It creates that emotional chemistry, and it creates a bond that just makes it makes the relationship tighter, is what I'm saying.
Right.
Which is one of the points that I have in my mind, as far as why it's so important to have conversations, is because it creates a space for the communication to take place, and then that closeness, it cultivates closeness, and it brings about intimacy, not just physical, because it's something about women when we hear our husband tell us how he feels about us. It makes us want to give of ourselves physically. It doesn't feel like a duty, It doesn't feel like, I gotta do this. It's like, ooh, let me give you that, It happens. And so again, that conversation, when conversation comes about, then before you know it, the communication is just blooming. You're able to talk freely about everything.
Let me tell you something else about communication. So y'all listen to women, because y'all think men we don't see what we see. We see the attitude, huh? Can you? We see the attitude.
But why do we have the attitude?
So hold on, just let me say this. So when you say nothing's wrong,
mm-hmm.
we see that there's something wrong,
mm-hmm.
like your action. So in terms of communication, your body language communicates. Your head nods. You're rolling your eyes, or however you move.
No eye contact.
The dishes. So I'm gonna tell you about Shamika. When Shamika real mad at me, she'll do the dishes, but she'll make so much noise, like the place don't have to clack that hard when you're doing the dishes. But I know then, so I know at that point, don't say nothing to her. Just hold on.
Let me have it.
But so when we ask, talking about communication, we see there's an issue. We're looking at your body language.
Mm-hmm.
We see you got an attitude. If we say, hey, because we don't know, like don't be like you should know. We don't know. We're not that smart. So when we ask, what's the problem? Either tell us what the issue is, or physically tell us, hold on for a minute, give me a minute, I'll get back to you. Or give me a minute to figure it out, then have a conversation.
But what if my attitude's so bad I don't want to talk to you?
But that means you're not communicating right.
What if I am communicating with my attitude?
But that's my point. That's what I'm saying. You are communicating with your attitude.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know why you have an attitude. So when we ask, hey, what's the problem? Like what's going on? Why you got an attitude? Telling us nothing. I'm okay. Like that. And we know it. And then that bothers us because like, man, why she acting like that? Man, I just don't feel like it. And then as men get older, as people get older, you don't push as hard to figure it out. Because we're sick and tired of trying to figure it out. And you got the attitude, you're telling me nothing, which means you're lying. Because your body language is telling the truth. Mm-hmm. So just say, not right now, give me a minute, you know what I'm saying? I'm still processing it. Then we can like, oh, okay. Like you're better off saying that than saying nothing. And then yet still treat us in a certain kind of way. So we see it. So if we're asking ladies, either tell us, like have a conversation,
mm-hmm.
or if you know you're not in a good space, I'm not in a good space right now, give me a minute so I can communicate it properly.
Yeah.
And I think we'll ease up from that point.
Do you think, or is it safe to say that a lot of times men push back because they have tried so many times?
You said what you mean push back?
They push back from trying to figure out what's...
Quit trying to figure it out?
What?
You said push back from trying to figure out.
What's wrong with their wife? Do they okay. Is it safe to say that a lot of times men quit trying to figure out the attitude
mm-hmm.
of the wife
uh-huh.
because I mean, let me go back. I was asking the question. Shoot, I forgot what I was saying.
Do we quit trying to push back? Do we quit trying to find out what's wrong over a period of time because we keep getting rejected? From the thing. So I'm asking. Every time I ask, you either tell me no, but you still have the attitude. Do men just say, you know what, forget it?
Up, yeah.
So yes and no. Yes, we quit trying to figure it out, but it's not that we don't want to know. If you're talking about husband and wife, we really care enough about you, so it's not that we don't want to know. But I think sometimes we come across as being macho or whatever, that the rejection doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, man, I'm trying to figure out what's wrong with it. She won't tell me what's wrong. So you tell your barber that, hey, man, I'm just trying to do this. And I'm just sick of trying to, every time I try, she boom, 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 she reject me. So it still can come across as a bit of a rejection from our part. And so men, we really hate rejection.
So really, the stepping away is a way of you processing what's being communicated.
Correct.
You know, because even though the attitude is not words, it's still a form of communication. You communicate with your body language.
Right.
That I don't want to be bothered.
Correct.
Or,
but I don't know what's wrong.
But you said something wrong, but you don't know what's wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
In the case when I don't know what's wrong. Now, there's some cases where you know what you did was wrong. In those cases, I think we just don't say nothing at all either, because we know we messed up. But you know, we still trying to come to the point where we can apologize because maybe egos or whatever's going on.
Yeah.
So, I'm not saying that's right. It is what it is.
So, I would say it's safe to say that no matter if you're newlywed, if you are engaged. Well, let me go back. If you're in a long-term serious relationship, if you are engaged, if you are newlywed, if you are in the thick of the marriage years, or if you are on the golden years of marriage, at the end of the day, we still need to be having the talks with one another.
Right.
Because when you stop talking, the chemistry dies.
Correct.
And the and the nation is no longer thriving. it's no longer viable. There's no life there. And so as much as we tried to say, especially when we was younger, that words don't hurt, you know, words can hurt. You know, you can say the wrong words to the person, that can be harmful. And the lack of words can also stifle or keep life for the relationship. And again, we're talking about relationships.
So the lack of communication is still a communication.
It's still dangerous.
It's a communication too, though.
Yes.
Okay. Lack of so speaking negative words and the lack of positive words both create a detriment to relationships.
Yeah, but now I like what you said, but what I'm saying is, even if, again, we're talking about the importance of conversation. So not just wrong words or positive words, no words. If you don't speak at all.
Well, hold on. So I don't like the way you say it.
Okay.
Because if I don't speak at all and all I have is negative words, I don't need to say that either.
That's true.
So that's why I'm saying speaking negative words and the lack of speaking positive words. So I withdraw positive words, that's bad. If I'm speaking negative words, that's bad. So I don't want to say just not speaking, because that paints a broad stroke. Well, at least say something negative. That's where my mind went.
So we're saying the same thing, ain't it?
We're not saying the same thing.
Yes, we are.
We'll figure it out later.
But I'm going to let you have it.
It's not about letting me
because I'm enjoying the conversation. Okay.
That's it.
Yes and no. I guess we don't want to push the conversation. But anyway, this came about because, you know, we have married couple friends, and Patrick and I are married. And as he stated, we do share a lot of things. Sometimes in the
This came about.
I'm getting ready to say, you cut me off. I'm going to take your chicken.
Because there's going to be men that's going to be watching this. You're finna take the long route.
So what I was about to say, what I was about to say is, we do share a large portion of our lives together. But here recently, like last week, we've been more intentional about having those conversations, like not coaching one another, but conversing with one another, like actually talking. And so, because a lot of times, y'all know me, I be wanting to do what I do, but sometimes you just have to stop and just have conversation, just enjoy one another, and that's what makes relationships bud, and what makes things come alive again. That chemistry. It was just, we were just talking. You know, if you look back on in a relationship, it was something that was said. It was the tone that it was said in. It was like, ooh, you know, and it could have been just hello. I mean, it's like, oh.
How do we get to talk about communication? And what brought about talking about communication?
We had we had conversation of our own. We had a personal conversation with one another, as well as hearing other couples talk about married couples talk about the importance of communicating. So yeah.
Last thing I'm gonna say, and this is very important because I do this. I've done this before. If you know your spouse and you know what happens and you know how they react, you may not be able to have that one-on-one conversation with them right then and there, or you may have to have somebody to come in to mediate. Is that right? Mediate the conversation, and if especially if there's an issue, then sometimes you may want to have a mediator there. However, what we're saying, to keep from having to have a mediator, is be in constant communication with one another over the small things, over the big things, good and bad, indifferent.
Those things that
like have just always being constant. I guarantee if you have a couple who is on the verge of divorce, I guarantee you the communication broke down.
Yeah, somebody stopped talking.
Correct.
Yeah, and even when we think about conversation, it's a matter of taking turns. So you learn to flow because one is talking and one is listening.
Should be.
And I failed to mention that. So yeah, we have to make sure that in the course of the conversation that we are taking turns, one to speak and make sure that we are communicating what's near and dear. What is pressing on our heart, and then again the other person is leaning in to understand, to hear, and to listen in, to maybe catch what's really being communicated from the heart, because there are words that you can say, but it's like, what I sense is this. Right. You're really hurting here, or you're really needing help here.
And that's listening with the intent to understand.
Yeah.
If I listen with the intent to understand, I'll catch that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. And you know, let's go back to even those body gestures or those features. So like, I could be saying something, but if you're looking me in my eyes, you can catch, no, it's something more to it. You can catch that underlining, or that undercurrent in the conversation. And so you can catch it and save them from drowning, or saving them from going to a place that you didn't intend for them to go there. Or you can catch that undercurrent. It's like, you know, we go to a place that we desire to be at.
Yeah. All right, y'all. I don't know if this replays back on our channel. If so, if you know anybody who maybe there's something we said that was valuable, send it to them, share it to them. I don't know how you do that on Instagram, but
we figuring it out.
Figure it out. So we'll be back next Saturday, 3 o'clock, between 3 and 3:30. And don't forget, on October the...
Let's just stick with this day. We don't know. We'll see y'all.
The second Tuesday, 7 p.m.
I thought it was Monday.
The second Monday, 7 p.m. on YouTube. Yeah, there we go. All right. Hit the button.
What button, Patrick?
I'm not sure.
Hilarious.
Hit the live button. See if that works. Nope, that's not it.
That's how many minutes.
All right, hit the X over there next to it. All right, there you go.
But will it record?